regards to the result of Brentford. So I just want to kind of go over the match. We called it Heroes and Villains because it seems to have been one of those afternoons where there's been quite a lot of heroes and villains. Yeah. What's your overall impression of the match, Dan?
Well, I think that the referee was shocking. Worst referee I've ever seen, if I'm being honest, and I've seen a lot of bad refs being Leeds.
What do you think was bad about the referee?
He just gave everything to Brentford, didn't he? Just gave everything to Brentford. Penalty, Somerville's foul on Somerville should have been a penalty. Didn't give it, and then 2 minutes later, happens at the other end of the pitch and it's a penalty.
If I press that, is that going to bring the comments up on here?
I don't know. No, you can't.
Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. All right, we're going to put the comments up on there so we can see and please read them out. I think one of the things that struck me, we had a situation last year where, okay, we weren't so great, but we were looking at the refereeing, and there seemed to have become this culture with referees where they seem to like letting play go. So, soft challenges where players go down all in the red and rolling about. These players were having to jump back up again because the referee was letting those things go. And that's last year. I was finding that the contrast from the year before, last season, there was a lot of very, very good refereeing taking place.
Yeah.
The standard this season is absolutely appalling. It's absolutely appalling. Stephen Grayson says VAR needs to change. It's too selective, and that's gone now. Where's that gone?
Look.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
it needs a challenge system or something. As in other sports, that's a really, really good point. I mean, that would have saved Jesse Marsh from being sent off this time. I'm not surprised Jesse Marsh was getting crossed, but just flash him a red. It was just absolutely bizarre. And what was the guy wearing? He looked like he'd got some kind of fake muscles on or something. I mean, what's all that about? Who's that? TV5? Do you want to read that one out?
Hey guys, I thought we played okay today until the third goal went in. I agree, should have been a pen. Somerville was fouled 2 times. Shirt pulled outside the box, then fouled. Yeah.
Shirt pulling is always, when it's seen, is always supposed to be penalised. And I think what really stood out for me with regards to bad refereeing decisions was the fact that Somerville was sort of bustled off the ball and we were turned down for a penalty. Marsh got sent off, and it was bookended by a situation where at the other end, at our end, we supposedly pushed somebody that it was actually a very similar sort of, I would say, different in that sense, but it's similar weight of challenge, should we say, and they gave the free kick to Brentford and allowed them to come on and score. So I can't understand how anybody who's watching these referees, who's judging them, can possibly say that the refereeing was fair today.
Yeah, I think the refereeing was definitely poor. Robert Jones, not a good ref.
Yeah, so what's that? 1-4 York says turning point in the second game. 2-1 down early in the second half. Sinisterra free in the box. Great chance to equalise. Woeful effort, which Rocker catches boots up the field. It's 3-1 to them. Yeah, and it's unfortunately it's disappointing. But the refereeing, I think, when you lose a game like that and the refereeing has been so bad, there seems to be a lot to moan about.
Yeah, definitely. Poor ref.
Yeah. What did you think of the starting lineup? What did you think of Drame?
I think Drame played well, but I think Aylan was miles better. Aylan was class when he came on. It wasn't Joffe's best performance.
I think Aylan looks like he's broke his nose.
It looked like it, but he still played well after that. He got an assist obviously after coming on. He looked good.
He looked like seriously, his nose looked like it'd been plastered all over his face. I actually turned away. I didn't actually see that challenge. And on the stream we were watching, it was really unfortunate because there were action going on in the pitch, and they seemed to want to film the managers, which was really infuriating. The commentary was shocking. The commentators seemed to want to just talk about Brentford all the time in glowing terms, and the referee decisions weren't even questioned. Daniel Abisian, great channel lads, appreciate the content, proper Leeds family, marching on together. Bad day, but we'll be fine. See enough this season. A few bits to fix though, and you've done a super chat, £5 super chat. Thanks ever so much for that. We really appreciate the support of the channel in that regard. It's always great when you do that. And again, while we're on that, if there's 37 people in the live chat, I don't expect there's going to be loads and loads in the live chat tonight because it's depressing and you kind of want to get on with the rest of your weekend and forget about stuff. Don't necessarily want to come and work your way around all the content, but it would be good if you could like the video and obviously subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Okay, do you want to pick up on any of these comments?
No wonder there are no English referees in major tournaments anymore. Yeah, I think that some of the it's horrible refereeing. Honestly, I don't get why Marsh got sent off really. After if you read his lips, all he said is, "How is that not a penalty? That's a penalty," and then he goes and shows him red. I think that Ivan Toney is. I was saying when we were having breakfast this morning, Ivan Toney is going to give us a lot of problems if we have Llorente as centre back, because Llorente is appalling.
He's what we're missing. You know, we play these teams and they have strikers that look like they're going to score and that know where the goal is and know how to get a shot off. We seem to be missing that. We seem to never be wanting to set these sort of players at the club.
Yeah. I think if we had a player like Ivan Toney, which I think we were in for him, if we got Ivan Toney, then we'd be buzzing because he'll have an England call up by the end of the season. He's a really good player.
Yeah, and again from set pieces, we talked a little bit about set pieces, and Marshy's press conference said we're all set up like we've got Van Dijk at the back. Yeah, I know. But he was saying that Brentford are very, very good at set pieces. He said that they're some of the best in the world. They got given a penalty, which I think, to be honest with you, I think if that had been given Leeds way, we'd have taken that. It was a bit 50-50 as to whether that would have been given. Notwithstanding the appalling ref, what's he saying?
We can see it very easily. Does the tactical system?
Jeff Pickett's
I think the tactical system needs tweaking. The fullbacks are always way too far up, and we got hit on the counter way too many times.
Yeah, we did.
That was our main. We scored, and then literally 10 seconds later, they're up the other end of the pitch and they've got a goal.
I quite like Dramé. I found Dramé seemed to be
better than Christensen.
Christensen going forward, which was quite surprising. He seemed to be a bit better positionally. But again, if we look at negatives from this game, I think the refereeing was poor. What is it with these referees? And I know people talk about the Everton game and the way in which if everybody was pointing at the watch and then having 3 minutes added on at the end, and there's this stat that's come out saying that saying about of all the games that Leeds played this season, the ball was in play more often, but Jordan Pickford being sat on the ball, that's actually count, even while he's doing that and pacing up and down and doing all that kind of pretending to move somebody else in front and all that kind of stuff, wasting time. What you've got to kind of bear in mind is that, you know, we brought certain things in play where a keeper wasn't allowed to take a certain amount of steps. The game has evolved in terms of keepering to stop this from happening. We're in a situation now where we're counting that ball as in play. So when we talk about how Leeds have supposedly had more minutes in play than on the other games, the time that's been taken, where it's been wasted, is where where Pickford's had that ball. If you take that off him, you realise that in actual fact there has been so much time wasted, and he's blown up before 3 minutes. It's like they're intentionally winding us up. And I can't get my head around why nobody's stepping in, nobody's actually looking at how bad this refereeing is.
Oh, Riley, I thought Leeds were the better side the entire game. We definitely were. Leeds defeated themselves. I will say Leeds needs to improve the final third. We definitely were the better side in terms of possession and how we were getting the ball back and how we were keeping the ball when we had it, but not in the final third. We were terrible in terms of finishing. I say we're almost trying to thread the eye of the needle with the passing. And trying to find the perfect pass so that you'd be in a perfect position to shoot rather than just taking a shot.
Can you just a question for you, Dan? You know, last season when we were in that sort of phase where we were losing games, like and literally we would go one goal down after about 10 minutes and think, here the floodgates are opening. You know, when we got all those players out. Yeah. Do you remember games where we dominated the play all the way through and still came out getting beat 3 or 4-0, or did we generally get outplayed in those games?
I think for City, when we got beat 4-0 by City, we were playing really well and we were pressing them really well until maybe 3-0, and then they got another one and beat us 4-0. Same with Liverpool 6-0. It was the first half performance was good, second half gets battered.
And I hate it when we're getting when we're literally outplaying another team. We are completely and totally dominant, and we're losing out to bad refereeing decisions. Because let's just talk through the Brentford goals. The first goal's a penalty. I'm not even. No, the first goal wasn't a penalty, was it?
Yeah.
Was that the second goal?
No, that was the first goal.
The first goal was a penalty. Not even 100% sure it was a penalty, but the way he takes 2 steps and strikes that ball. I mean, I'm looking at Meslier. Meslier is a game changer when it comes to penalties because he's saving penalties. He's making saves that he shouldn't. But Tony's definitely got the better of him with that penalty, and you couldn't. Nobody's going to save that.
He's one of the best penalty takers in the world. Ivan Toney is. He's a very good player.
That free kick, he seemed to almost take that free kick before anybody was ready. But he took 2 steps and he hit that with such power that, and again, where he placed it, the accuracy and power with where he placed it. Leeds are lacking that type of clinician behind the ball to put the ball in the back of the net.
How do we think Gnonto will impact the squad from Chris Pilmore? I don't think that we're going to see much of him until January, really.
Who's that? Tony Baldwinson? What's he saying?
There's a difference between the 2 teams with Llorente and Tony. Both had an impact on the game in different ways. Yeah, Llorente had a very negative impact though. Llorente was absolutely poor.
Yeah, I think on Twitter I commented that Cresswell got a goal and an assist today, and Llorente, who he basically should be replaced by Cresswell. Llorente got 5 assists today. Tongue in cheek. Unfortunately, he got the 5 assists for the wrong side.
Yeah.
I can't understand how he's still getting his pick. And this is the thing. People are talking about Leeds going in for a left back, and how Leeds have been going in for a left back. And I've heard people say that Leeds needed a centre half. Leeds didn't need to go in and buy a centre half. Leeds needed a left back, and he would have fixed the problems at the back. The reason being is because one of the best 2 left centre halves at the club currently is playing at left back. Strout should not be playing at left back. Strout should be building minutes up and building.
He just had a call up for the Netherlands provisional team as well. So
he should be building up minutes and building up experience alongside Koch now. And we should have a left back who's playing left back. Absolutely appalling that we've not gone and bought a left back so that we can put Strout back in the centre with Koch where he should be, and get Llorente as far away from that team as possible. If we talk about Meslier being worth a point a game in the first first 5 or 6 games this season, the way in which he's made saves that have saved us a point or saved us a win, Llorente is doing exactly the opposite. It's useless. I can't get my head around. It's just making a mistake that costs us a goal every single game. Everything that could go wrong went wrong today for Leeds. Llorente has been very poor in the last 2 games. I'm questioning whether I want to see Llorente in a Leeds shirt ever again. Simon Richards says, "What do you think, Dan?"
Yeah, I think we were all really frustrated with Llorente. I remember this time, maybe not even a year ago, when you were saying Llorente is the next Rio Ferdinand for us.
Yeah, so, and I were wrong. I thought his positional play was brilliant, and he must have had a run of games.
He's definitely had a fall from grace, as we'd say, because he's not the same player that he was this time a couple of seasons ago for us under Bielsa.
Yeah, 1414 York says, "This is the first match we've played that our opponents actually had a proper class centre forward, and he punished us. This has been coming." And you know what? We got a really good point, but you know we did find against Brighton when we played against what's that striker called?
Ivan Toney.
No.
Oh, who's striker? Brighton.
It's just left me.
Gross.
No. Player who used to play for was
Danny Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck caused us some problems, but we did manage that. And although we lost the game, Danny Welbeck was an outstanding performance. But
Danny Welbeck didn't play when we played Brighton.
Welbeck played.
Welbeck didn't play.
Are you sure?
Welbeck Gross started at striker.
Welbeck played.
Gross started at striker.
You want to Google that? I'm sure he played.
What? When we, like this time, like last time we played Brighton?
Yes.
I promise you we didn't, because I looked at the lineup and I was wondering why I wasn't going to play.
I'm pretty sure he came on then.
But he didn't come on.
Okay. Maybe he might not have done. Maybe I'm a little bit coming out.
You're waffling.
Maybe I'm not. Let me check it out.
You're waffling.
Did he not play?
He came on.
He came on. Okay. And when he came on, he caused us problems.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think you're right. I think defensively, we're not where he should be, but I don't necessarily think that's a system issue. I think that's a personnel issue. I think when you remove Llorente from that lineup and you put you move Cock over, I actually think that changes the side and changes the dynamic of the side quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I actually think Firpo will have more of an attacking output than Strauch.
Yeah, maybe.
And will be better at the back.
I think Strauch does look good though at left back. He is. The thing is, he's actually not bad at left back. But I would rather.
I think he's great. I think he's great.
Yeah.
He's really come good. Really come good for us.
Yeah.
I think he'll be at the club for many years to come.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I definitely agree.
How do you think the two midfielders, Tyler Adams and Matt Rocker, did today?
I think Rocker was good. Obviously, he got his first goal, so well done to him. I think Rocker was really good. He looked like he was attacking better. He looked like he was taking shots. He looked more confident now that he's been at the club for a while. He looked like he was taking shots when he saw the goal, when he saw an opportunity. Adams looked okay. I think Llorente made Cock and Adams play a bit worse because they were always looking over their shoulder to make sure Llorente make sure they didn't have to cover Llorente, make sure they didn't have to drop back and cover for him because he was running up to the halfway line. So yeah, I think Llorente made Adams and Cock play a bit worse than they should have done.
I think Rocker, to be honest with you, I think the last two games has been, you saying it's his best. Somebody in the chat just said that it's his best game to date.
Yeah.
I think that I think between me and you, I actually think that, to be fair, I think the last two games, Rocker seems to be. I mean, obviously he's now putting. He's getting closer to putting 90 minutes in. There may be a fitness issue there. He keeps bringing him off and bringing. My mind's not what it should be.
What? Bringing him off and click on.
Click on, yeah. You have to excuse me. Listen, I've had an operation this last week, so I'm still a little bit woozy. So I'm still not quite where I need to be in terms of the anaesthetic still wearing off. So you have to excuse me for that. But I've been watching the Brentford game. There were so many talking points. I felt like it was really, really important that I got on to obviously have a chat.
Everyone just put in the comments. We spoke yesterday when I was on the stream on my own. Just put in the comments if you were to go out and get a striker, who would it be? If you were to go out and get the striker that everyone wants, who would it be?
Yeah, stop with that. We're not going to go and sign a striker now, and it's irrelevant because we've been in for like about 10 different strikers, and we just never seem to be able to sign anybody, which is really frustrating. I think so for me, for Matt Rocker, I think anybody, yeah, that Leeds Yank, yeah, anybody right about now. So I'm asking you questions. You need to answer the questions.
I am.
So Matt Rocker, do you think he's growing into the Premiership?
I think Rocker's growing into the I think Rocker's growing into the Premiership. I think he's looked good from day one. Really, the only really bad performance I've seen from him was maybe Brighton, but even that was mediocre. It was still verging on good enough. So I think Rocker's definitely adapted, and Adams and Rocker look like just a really good double pivot.
Did you see the press conference afterwards, Jesse Marsh's press conference?
No, I didn't get time to see that.
He talked a little bit about Harrison and how, because it's been a 3-match week, Harrison's legs looked a little bit tired and he brought him off. What difference to the team do you think that made in the second half? Do you think we had a better first half or second half?
I think we had a better.
Do you think we missed Harrison?
Yeah, I think we had a better first half, and I think we didn't really miss Harrison. I don't know. We bought on Somerville, obviously, and I think Somerville played well when he came on. Somerville surprised me. He looked good. It looks like now that Dan James gone, he's gonna kick on and he's gonna try and get into that team where Dan James was. Just hope he doesn't start playing up front. But I think first half was definitely better. Obviously, we only conceded 2, and neither of them were from open play. We conceded 2 and neither of them were from open play. We were dominating the possession. And then second half, it all went to pot.
Yeah, I think it did. I think the offside was not offside. It's just one of those things. It looked like it should have been offside, but it weren't offside. We got caught. Caught one header that perhaps maybe he shouldn't have won. I don't know.
Llorente.
No, it was Cock. It was Cock.
And then Buemo,
again, it's just poor. We've dominated the game. I think it's, as far as XG is concerned, we're just not shooting enough.
Yeah.
But again, what are the positives set from this game?
I think the positives are probably. I've got no clue. I hope that Marsh appeals his red card though. I
think for me, Drame looks like he's ready.
Yeah.
That's a positive.
Maybe, yeah. And Aylin looks really good. Aylin looked very good. and
I think the other thing,
Bamford looked okay.
It looked okay.
He did miss that open net.
he missed his sitter. He had a couple of opportunities to put the ball in there, and he ought to have done. And now Riley's talking about Shea Adams and Joshua Sargent, but again,
Not Josh Sargent.
the window's shut now.
Ben Brereton's going to be a free agent in the summer, next summer.
Yeah, it's what, sorry?
Ben Brereton's going to be a free agent next summer, so if we were to go and try and get him in January, we'll probably get him for maybe 10 million.
Why do you think the closure of the transfer window? Because I haven't obviously had a chance to talk about this since the end of the transfer window, because I've not been on the video. Why do you think that the transfer window has fizzled out in the way that it has, and Leeds have effectively not spent any money in real terms? There's not been a net spend. Why do you think we've now in this situation where the Leeds fans have been pointing out the obvious for months and months and months and months about a left back and a striker, and we've not? I mean, okay, we've signed that new lad, but why? He's 18. He's an international, but he might be a backup, but he's certainly not the start. He's certainly not Ivan Toney. Why do you think we've not gone out and completed the squad with what we needed?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think that the board obviously panicked when Rodrigo got injured and went in for Dieng, and Dieng obviously left it until the last minute to reject us, and then we were left out to dry a bit. But I think that maybe they left it until the last day on purpose, maybe to sort of say, look, we've got it, so you can trust us. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they did leave it until the last day to start pushing on, just to say, look, we might take a while, but it's going to happen. We need to trust us, and it backfired completely.
Let's tell you how it is. I'll tell you why I see it, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We've got a situation where Radrizzani owns, 56% of the club. And I think that the 49ers own, is it 42%, something like that. Now, when you're in a situation where your shareholders in that way, if Radrizzani wants to put money in, the 49ers have to put... if they're 50-50 shareholders, if Radrizzani puts 100 million in, the 49ers have to put 100 million in. Otherwise, the club owes them half of that in reality, if one of them's investing and the other isn't. So the 49ers can't invest money if Radrizzani isn't willing to invest money. Radrizzani, I think, would have sold probably, and would have tipped that shareholding at the end of last season had Leeds had a good season and the value would have been up. But because they nearly got relegated, I don't think he'd have been happy to sell at that point, bearing in mind the shares weren't probably worth what they would have been at the end of the first season. So again, there's a gamble. He's held on for a year. I think the board's aim with regards to this transfer window that we've just passed was to try and balance the books, not spend anything more, not commit to any more spending, but improve the squad to a point where we finish mid-table. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So coming to the back end of the window, Leeds were, and the board were happy that they'd done enough to keep us at the top of the bottom half of the table. They felt that with the way that the results were going, and the way that these injuries, people were coming back, that they'd done enough in the transfer window. Now, and the books were balanced. We were in a situation where we basically benefited £2 million as far as the transfer window was concerned.
Yeah.
Then Rodrigo puts his shoulder out and he's out for 6 weeks. Now all of a sudden that places in jeopardy the league standing, which is a financial issue as well, because the further up you come, the more money you make. So the only way we can truly change that is either bringing somebody in at a low value, and you think about the amount of money we're going to spend on James over the 12 months. If we can bring a player in and we defer the payments on them so that we're only spending with their wages and the money we're outlaying initially to buy them, and we're able to balance that with what James's wages would be over 12 months, then we can still balance the books in and we can bring a player in. And what's actually happened is that we've gone in for Gakpo. Now, that would have meant that the 49ers would have had to have put money in, as well as Radrizzani. And it seems that they've been quite happy to do that. Then we went onto Nonto.
No, we went on to Dieng.
Dieng, that's it. But again, the Dieng deal, with the amount of money that was in there, James would have balanced the books on that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then as it is with it's fallen through. It's evident that the guy didn't want a full medical. Radrizzani was insisting on a full medical. And that's fallen through because he knew he would fail the medical, and we've ended up with Nonto. And I'm going to be quite frank, looking at some of this footage, his low centre of gravity, the way in which he gets the ball and drives, I'm pretty sure he's going to work out a decent system player. He certainly knows where the net is, and he looks like a Rod Wallace to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go on.
He does look like a really good young talent, but I'm not sure that he's what we needed at this point in time. I think the whole point of getting a striker in this window is that it'd be someone that can benefit us now, not in a few months' time.
Do you think he's an out-and-out number 9 from what you've seen,
No,
or do you think he's more of a second striker?
He's more of an attacking midfielder for me. I think that he's much better in the behind the striker, playing off of a striker, very similar to Joe Gelhardt.
So really, he's no different to what we've actually got.
No.
Do you think he's a panic buy?
Yes, I think he's definitely. Dieng wasn't a panic buy. People saying Dieng was an attempt at a panic buy. It wasn't a panic buy. Dieng's been on the list for ages, and I know Gnonto has. But we already had an agreement in place to sign Gnonto in January. We had an agreement with FC Zurich in the Switzerland League that Gnonto would come in January. So we've actually had to ring them up and bring that forward and accelerate the plans to bring him in because we panicked and panic bought him.
And that's concerning. How did you think? And I know you've already touched on it. How did you think Bamford looked today? Because obviously we're in a situation where we've lost Rodrigo for a few weeks. Rodrigo's runs of form are fleeting. They come and they go. And now the fact that he's going to be out for 5-6 weeks is certainly going to knock him off his. He's going to knock his duck a little bit. I don't think he's necessarily going to come back in and suddenly pick up where he left off. Bamford obviously missed a sitter, but apart from that, how do you think Bamford performed today?
I think he looked good enough. He looked like he was doing the job. He didn't get injured again. I think that he can definitely fill in while Rodrigo's out. Maybe bring Rodrigo back into the side. Maybe start moving Gelhardt up or Gnonto. But I think he was getting into some good positions. He was creating some good attacks, starting some good attacks. But his shooting looks very rusty.
Yeah, his shooting did look very rusty, and he's not quite where he needs to be. Do you think Leeds will be okay, lads? Liam, Chalky? I think we will. And the reason being is I think we're going to pick up enough points playing like that. You've got to remember, this is an away game. And as I've said before, if you're going to finish mid-table or you're going to make it into the top half, what you've got to kind of bear in mind is that you need to be beating clubs at home. If you're playing top 6, you need to be trying to draw those games, but you need to be winning all the rest of the games at home. And we're winning our home games. When you're playing away, you need to be picking a draw. If you're playing teams that are right at the very bottom, you need to be winning them. You can understand if you're going to go away to Man City and Liverpool and teams like that, if you're going to lose against them.
Yeah.
So I think getting beat by Brentford, it ain't the end of the world.
No, it's not.
Getting beat by Brighton at the end of the world.
Yeah.
But
end of the season, final place, 9th to 12th. Yeah, that's interesting because that's what I said for a while, and we obviously had that thing where we were putting a poll up saying Dad thought we were going to get Europe, and I said 9th to 12th, and a lot of people are starting to see that now.
But one thing that is, I think, interesting is Sinisterra.
Sinisterra looks really good.
Started 3, scored 3. They've all been goals from outside the box. I think he's looking like a real prospect, and we're already, okay, one of them's in the Carabao Cup. We scored 2 goals from 2 starts in the league.
Yeah.
And again, if he doesn't hit Rafinha's numbers this year, I'd be extremely surprised because he looks the real deal.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see Gnonto at the Forest game?
He's in Italy for the weekend. Anyone saw the wholesome video of Mars meeting Gnonto. That was absolutely, it just shows how much of a man manager he is. But I think he's gone back to Italy for the weekend. Maybe he'll be back on Monday, and maybe he might be a bit tired from the flight. It's just possible. I don't see him being in the squad for Forest. I think he's much more likely to be in the squad for the game after that.
Yeah, so very disappointing match. Very disappointing to watch. I'm sick of watching games where the referee seems to be taking centre stage.
Sorry. He might be tired from the flight, but it's not. Forest is in 2 weeks' time, so yeah, I can see him being in the squad for Forest.
What have we got next?
We've got a little bit of a break now.
So Forest
a week on Monday. So yeah, I can see him being in the squad for Forest. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he will be. Sinister hoping he gets fit for Forest. I think he'll feature. I think he'll get some minutes. I'm surprised Liam Cooper didn't get 30 minutes today. Nice to see Ayling come on. I mean, obviously he's busted his nose. Goodness knows what he's going to look like when he comes back. I mean, his nose were all over his face. Only been on pitch for 10 seconds, hasn't it? Which is a bit of a shame. I just really want to get Firpo back. I never thought...
Who was captain today?
I don't actually know.
I didn't even make a note.
Who was captain today, everybody?
I didn't even make a note of who was captain.
Yeah.
I don't think I looked at that.
Who was captain? If you know who was captain, just pop it in the comments.
Cock was captain.
Cock was captain. Yeah, Cock was captain.
I didn't notice that. I didn't. That's not. I didn't spot that.
I think Marsh hinted at that in his previous press conference when he
Cock's
said
definitely a leader.
When he said
I think he was captain at his previous club as well.
He?
I think he was vice captain at his previous club. So sort of like what Alien is to us, it was that at his previous club. So I think that he can fill those shoes.
I think he's good. I think so. For me, heroes and villains. Heroes have to be Harrison because of his work rate. They were doubling up on Harrison. It's evident that for whatever reason, the teams that we're playing against see him as a real threat.
On our left hand side to try and stop Harrison.
Sinisterra is definitely a hero.
And Rocker as well.
Joffrey had a decent game, but I think Joffrey. I don't think we were shocking. Simon Richards says definitely we were shocking today. The icing on the cake was a red card for Jesse Mann. I don't think we were shocking. I think that in attacking midfields, we're dominating. We're dominating. We just needed a striker. Why didn't you sign a bloody striker? What is wrong with you? Why didn't you sign a striker? We just needed somebody who can stick the ball in the back of the net, who's going to be fit. Even Bamford, when he's fit, blows hot and cold.
You know who I'd have loved? I'd have loved Alvarez, the one that Man City have signed from River Plate. Obviously scored 2 against Forest the other day. I'd have loved him. I think he wouldn't have even been too unrealistic either.
How many times are we going to come up against teams who've got an established striker this season? And we saw Chelsea were toothless, weren't they, when we played them because they didn't have a striker. It doesn't matter if you've not got somebody who can stick the ball in the back of the net, no matter how much build-up play you do. If you've not got somebody with that killer instinct, it takes a certain type of DNA. Why didn't we just sign somebody who can stick the ball in the back of the net? I don't necessarily have to be able to run like headless chicken. We just wanted a striker, and you've got the whole window to sign a striker. We knew we got Bamford who were injury prone. We knew that Joffrey is coming through, and again, is somebody that seems to have been a little bit injury prone. And we knew we got Rodrigo that goes through fits and starts. He'll get all his goals in 3 games, and then he'll come to cow's ass with a banjo for the next 6 months. We know that we've got that in our team. Why didn't we sign a bloody striker? Quite straightforward. Today we were lacking a striker for all that build-up play, all that XG. We need to stick the ball in the back of the net. We didn't have a striker. Forest have signed 7, have they?
No, they've signed Awoniyi.
4, 3.
I think they've signed 3. They've signed Awoniyi, Mopé. No, they didn't sign Mopé. They signed Awoniyi, Dennis. I think they were going to sign Batshuayi from Chelsea, but it didn't go through. Then they've obviously signed Lingard, Gibbs White. They've signed lots of attacking players. But obviously they lost 3-2 to Bournemouth today, so...
But the point is, I know, they scored 2 goals, but the thing with...
Huang from Bordeaux. The
thing with me, what's really frustrating, right, is, yes, we've done enough. There are definitely going to be 3 teams worse than us this season. Definitely going to be 3 teams. Is that really an improvement on last year? There's probably going to be 5 teams that are worse than us. I don't think we'll get... I worry we'll get brought... Ben Turner... He worries that we'll get dragged into a relegation scrap. I don't think we will.
I think we will.
I don't think we will.
For a short bit of the season, maybe after January, for a bit we might be fighting.
I think Forest is a big game for us. I think it's going to be interesting how we go on at Forest.
We'll be at the game, so maybe we can film some of it. We can do a bit of a vlog. 3
points at Forest. We continue to win our home games. Yes, we drew with Everton at home, but again, I just watched them play against Liverpool, and again that was 0-0.
Liverpool is shocking without Mane. Liverpool is shocking.
But again, it's we needed a striker, and this is the thing. We talk about ambition. Did we really just want to survive this year? Was that it? Was that it? Somebody's put Chris Pillmore's put. On a lighter note, those are lovely guitars, Dan. Couldn't help but notice.
Thank you.
That circle of fifths chart on the left of your dad.
Yeah, beautiful. I just it helps me when I'm doing my piano, and I got most of my guitars down here, but I'm not going to start showing.
No. So again, just Leeds left back and a striker of a reasonable quality. We would have been in the middle of the top half of the table, and would possibly have been challenging. But it just goes to show where Radrizzani, in terms of his investment, sits. people are saying he's spent millions and millions of pounds. He hasn't. He's recouped what he's spent. He's not really back Jesse Marsh. Backing Jesse Marsh is putting your hand in your pocket. He's ready to sell to the 49ers when he can get the appropriate value. You know, if Leeds finish 17th again and you end up selling and not getting your money back because you've not invested, it serve you right, because we should have brought a striker in. We should have brought a left back in, and we haven't. And now I think we're gonna struggle in some games that we should be winning. And we're gonna draw, and some of the it's all about margins. So for me, man of the match, Dan.
Man of the match was probably Tyler Adams again, or Rocker. Adams completed most passes. I think he made 80 passes. So maybe Adams or Rocker looked good as well.
I think Rocker had a good game.
Yeah.
I have to say I think Rocker had a good game.
So,
but I think Sinistera looks like an absolute baller of a player.
Before we go then, like the video. We've obviously got 69 people in, so we've only got 31 likes. So like the video.
Yeah, Leeds Yank says not many teams want to sell in January. We should go for Major League Soccer players for depths, left back and a striker.
Kai Wagner from Philly Union and maybe
that.
Castellanos, but I don't think we'll go for him.
Is Castellanos stay at New York?
No, he went out on loan to Girona. I would, for a striker, I said I would love Victor Osimhen from Napoli, but that's very optimistic. In Nigeria International, I don't think we would get him. So I think maybe for a centre forward.
Somebody's calling you Joffrey Junior again.
Maybe better some Joffrey Junior gets on the guitar instead of talking about the game. Why is that, bro? Why is that? No need for that, is there?
Craig Darwin.
Yeah, you're on most of our streams, Craig, but there's no need for that, pal. No need. You did worse than us against Brentford. So who? Red Sunset. Yeah, George, Man U fan. Yeah, we didn't really do worse than you. We got beat 5-2. You got beat 4-0. You didn't even score.
Stick a like on the video. Stick a like on the video now, and if we get up to 60 likes, within the next 2 minutes, Dan will just play on the guitar real quick and just show you what he can do. If we can get up to 60 likes, if we don't in the next 2 minutes, then he's not going to do that. So if you're not already liked, please like the video, and you'll get to see how good he is or bad he is on guitar. I'm not sure I agree to this.
Not sure I agree to this.
Joffrey Junior sounds like a compliment to me, mate Dan. They're on 38 likes, so people aren't bothered about seeing you on guitar, mate.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. I'm not feeling it.
42. Guys. He's not bothered about. He's not bothered about.
They are going up though, so keep them going up. Maybe it'll happen.
So again, Forest game. What do you think we've got to look forward to?
I expect it. Maybe we could get a point. I've got a bet with my barber, as I've said. Double or nothing. Pay double on my next haircut if they beat us, but I get a free haircut if we beat them. So that's what I hope we win that. That's obviously going to be my first league game that I go to. I've not been to a league game yet. It's hard to get tickets, but we got them through the ballot. So I'm hoping that we'll get something out of it. Maybe get Brendan Aronson and Tyler Adams to sign my USA shirt after. Just
a little bit about the ballot and about the buying of tickets. Is there anybody in here that's bought any tickets, that's managed to get tickets first time? Is there anybody that's got tickets to the ballot? Is there anybody that's got them through the exchange this season? How are we finding that situation with regards to the buying of the tickets? We've got tickets from ballots for the Forest game. We didn't get. I don't think we joined the queue early enough for the first round of tickets, but we got them for the ballot. It took them ages to announce it. But I was hearing about the Chelsea game. People on the morning of the game were actually getting tickets.
Yeah, same with the Everton game. It was
to the exchange.
I would love to go to the Man U game, George. The Scum away game, but we'll say Scumchester. That's a big game as well. I think that's after the Forest game, so. Yeah,
somebody's actually liked it and then unliked the video. So somebody's actually liked it and thought they really don't want to hear you playing on guitar. So they've actually unliked it.
Cheers,
you went down and voted
Without seeing some of them appalling runs from Joffrey today. They didn't want to see him playing the guitar.
Joffrey, do you think he made appalling runs today?
It wasn't getting his. It was. Someone said he's like a schoolboy, just running at a defender and hoping that he makes an error. Really, I think that. I definitely don't see him as a lone striker. He needs a striker to bounce off of Marsh, as Marsh has said.
What did you think of Aronson today? Because Aronson seemed quite quiet.
Aronson was. I didn't see much of him. I can't comment on him. I didn't see much of him.
Aronson seemed quite quiet today. I must admit. Normally he seems to have lost a little bit of that bounce in the last couple of games. I don't know if anybody else is noticing the same, which is a real shame. Don't get me wrong. They've gone through a busy week this week, haven't they? So again, Aronson is good on the ball initially, but final touch is off. Harrison has been getting marked out of games. Yeah, Harrison is better on the wing. Again, possibly.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thanks ever so much
cheers
for joining us for our post-match chat. Remember, if you're joining it late and you're watching the video back, we do respond to the comments, so please comment away. We will be back at some time before the Forest game. We'll probably do a bit more of a reflection, a bit more of a chat of some of the stuff that's going on, and I think we'll respond to Diego Llorente being sent out to go and see home, to go to Spain for 6 months and just get out of my face, because honestly,
hopefully his plane breaks down.
Shocking performance today.
Yeah.
I really want to see Firpo coming back. Not because I particularly want to see Firpo on the pitch. I'm sick of moaning about Llorente, but it would be really, really good to see Strauch in the middle. And acknowledge that although Firpo isn't brilliant, at least we've got Strauch in the middle. Thanks ever so much for watching. Please hit a like and a subscribe on the way out. And we will...
Another person's unliked the video, so cheers for that.
If somebody else has unliked the video, please like.
Next time, guys.
Bye-bye.